It's been over a year, but we finally have a new trailer for Kraven. The YouTube video only says Kraven. It does not say Kraven the Hunter. Let's do this.
My son, we are hunters. The greatest the world has ever known.
Охотник до сказки.
That's it after
Каждой сказки есть правда.
Nice.
Who's next?
I heard the noise of thunder.
Are you like your father? A gangster? A killer?
And I heard a voice. And behold, hell followed with him. There's a man going round taking names,
My son,
and he decides who to free and who to blame.
yes, an animal stronger than you can imagine.
The hairs on your arm will stand up.
Tell me about this hunter.
Some are born and some are dying.
Once you're on his list, there's only one way off.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around. Whoever is unjust,
You think you're some kind of honor? Some kind of code?
they'll be unjust too.
You're just another man
Whoever is righteous,
hunting for a trophy.
let him be righteous still.
Just like our father.
When the man comes around. When the man comes around.
Embrace who you really are, son. And you will become a legend.
When the man comes around.
See, now it's
When
Kraven
the
the
man
Hunter. The
comes
YouTube
around.
video has the wrong title. All right, real quick before I share my thoughts on the trailer, go ahead and join me down below in the comment section. What did you think about the trailer? Also, I've covered all of these Spummock or Spider-Man-less Spider-Man movies from Sony, whatever they're called. There will be a playlist or something right around here that you can click on. So this is an interesting one because they literally put out the first trailer over a year ago, and then they delayed the movie by a year. And that's never really a good sign, especially if you put out a trailer and then delay it a year. That's weird. And it's not an obvious December movie either. So there's a lot about this one that just seemed very peculiar. So what did I think about the trailer? I don't really know. In both the good and the bad senses, it just reminded me of the comic book movies, the Marvel movies from 20 years ago. The B-tier ones, not the X-Men, not Raimi's Spider-Man, all the other stuff. That I saw all those movies in the theaters, and I have a fondness for a number of them, and others I don't have much fondness for. But this whole Sony Spider-Man-less universe has always kind of been compared to those movies. And in theory, I think that would be a good way for them to differentiate themselves in that they just have they feel smaller. They're not trying to be as big and ambitious, but then they ruin themselves because they're adapting villains into these anti-heroes and stuff like that and trying to build a shared universe on the flimsiest of grounds. But the idea of kind of doing these more mid-budget superhero movies that can be rated R, I think that's a good idea. So watching this trailer, 50% of the time I was like, actually, I think I kind of dig this. It's reminding me of the Thomas Jane Punisher movie and maybe even a little bit of Punisher Warzone. That, you know, a little bit cheesy, but kind of a action movie in the comic book movie genre. I'm fine with that. And then, you know, you're bringing in Russell Crowe, Aaron Taylor Johnson, that they've got some acting oomph to them. So you're taking something kind of cheesy, elevating it through the actors, but, you know, kind of knows what it is. And then it has him running with rhinos, battling Rhino. And you're like, we're no longer in the category of like action movie in the comic book genre. Now we're just in this whole other thing over here that's goofier and campier and cheesier. And I imagine that's probably somewhat what they're struggling with and why they delayed it a year and tried to do some reshoots, because they have a movie that can't pick between two tones. Are we doing R-rated action revenge movie with Kraven the Hunter, or are we doing goofy movie where he battles the Rhino? And how do you merge those two? The trailer did not convince me that they answered that question, since I was digging one of those things more than the other one. So, I don't know. Since I tend to like violent action revenge movies, I'll probably be more fond of this film than a number of other people will. Is it going to be a new Madam Web? I think the inherent ingredients there of Kraven the Hunter on a revenge mission with this corrupt dad, I think inherently that lends itself to a little bit more of a straightforward narrative that just functions better than whatever Madam Web's Final Destination about the person on the phone for the superhero team, but that they're not superheroes. Like, that's just a weird premise inherently that didn't come together, and you can't even describe what the film is, particularly in a coherent fashion, in a nice, concise sentence. Whereas Kraven the Hunter, you can a little bit better. So I think there's ingredients there for it to fall a little bit more in line with a Venom movie. That we're not talking about the A tier, the S tier of comic book movies, but it's not trying to either. But then again, Morbius is one that also should be a fairly clean narrative in what you're trying to describe there. And, well, that also didn't turn out very well. So, I don't know. 50, 60% of the trailer, I was digging it enough. Like, some just violent, nasty knife kills, bow and arrow kills, bear traps to the head. I was like, I'll take it. I got it. That's sure. Whatever. Throw this into the comic book genre. It actually stands out because it's R-rated and has some bite to it. In the case of the bear trap, quite literally, I'm down for it. Some of the other stuff, not so much. I guess we'll find out in December how this all plays out. Let me know your thoughts down below. Check out other videos somewhere around here, and keep talking movies and TV too much. Bye-bye.